All right, and good evening, brothers, sisters, and gender norm resistors. It's that time of the week again, time for some Pirates of the Geek Vortex with me, your host, Olaf, and the rest of the crew, so let's jump on in. All right, and hello, everybody.
Hello.
Ooh.
All right, and let me get that transitioned over. There we go. So how's everybody been?
That
good, huh?
I went camping and got baked. I mean, my trailer was really hot baked. 105 degrees out there.
Oh.
Yeah, not pretty. And how have you been?
I've been doing just fine.
He's been spending midnights with some asshole.
Yeah. Some complete and utter jackass that's just, yeah.
It's okay, I've been spending my midnights with just some douchebag.
Sounds like you're bragging. No.
Kind of, almost. And hello there, Knox.
I was about to say, I'm sure the dramatic glasses pull and cleaning during that did not help the bragging accusation.
Probably not.
No, I've had a pretty decent week. Just tonight I'm getting all these texts and shit, so, you know, my mood just suddenly crashed in like the past 30 minutes. I've gone from everything's okay, we can carve out a niche, we're gonna be okay, to fuck it, let's start a revolution.
An era where a certain asshole's base is finally turning on him.
Not quick enough.
Took them 10 years. 10 fucking years.
Yeah, but the problem is they're not the ones in control.
Yeah, so at this point it's like, hey, you know, shit's kind of fucked up. We don't like what you're doing, but the person in charge is like, well, I don't care. You've already put me in charge. You've already given me all this power, so... Too bad?
That's exactly what it is.
See, here's the problem I've had with this fucking thing. I've discussed a lot, like I've mentioned it many times, I am an anarchist. Because the two-party system is inherently flawed. Because the way it goes about is that both parties inspire loyalty in their... Fuck it, let's discuss this with our geek terms, shall we? Both parties inspire loyalty in their fan bases because that's all you fucking are. You're fucking fangirls. Goddamn. And their fan bases always want to see their side in charge. The problem with having everybody in charge being on one side of the aisle is that then shit happens without us actually consenting, which is why it was written into the Constitution that we need a two-party system with checks and balances and a good mixture of both in the first fucking place. But we don't really give a shit about that piece of paper. We just like to use it as a defense. I'm gonna stop.
I don't think anyone's really objecting to any of your points.
Yeah,
No, but if I keep going down that rabbit hole, we're gonna go into like sheer unhinged madness, violence version of me.
Aiden, I'm a registered Democrat, and I'm basically here saying, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that they recognize when they made the goddamn thing that if we have one side in control and nobody else, that side's gonna push whatever the fuck they want. And that's what's happening right now. Is the Republicans, who have been chanting for almost, 3 goddamn decades now that they want an all-Republican government, have a 99% Republican government, And now they're going, oh shit, all this shit is passing that we didn't agree on. Where'd our voices go? You gave them away, you dumb motherfucker.
Yep, Congress is basically powerless at this point.
It
Because
was also written into a funny little piece of paper, and I quote, "Should the government in control make a nuisance of itself, it must be taken and replaced.
You
Not
know that rules.
if they fuck shit up, not if it's literal Nazis, if they're a nuisance, if they're slightly annoying."
You know that rules don't apply anymore.
Of course, they never did.
You know, Constitution? What Constitution? What piece of paper? Huh. No.
Oh, hey, that's a funny looking little piece of paper. Let's just wipe our ass with it.
Exactly. Yep. Or the ketchup off the wall, you know.
I mean, the biggest issue with the whole Constitution is like, well, you have to have somebody there that's going to enforce it. And the people that are supposed to be enforcing it are just, you know, signing away their powers and saying, oh, well, the Constitution gives us this power, but we're going to give it to this person.
Mm-hmm.
that is exactly what's happened, and I can't fucking even.
A lot of people in the political scene has either turned into a bunch of pussies or bootlickers. And some have converged to, you know, to the other side. But
The bootlicker thing is inevitable. Because that's the problem. This is going to be my villain rant. It actually is inherently true that humans are going to take the path of least resistance in just about every fucking thing. We don't want to have to deal with the minutia of making a society work, of making our food work, of making everybody being able to live. So we're going to pass it off onto someone else. But the problem is we don't give a fuck who we actually pass it to, so long as they make us feel good about ourselves.
I refuse to become a puppet. I refuse. You know, I'll take that minutia and I will broaden it. I'm going to have my own damn ideas and the way I live. And
okay, yeah, but
that-
are you going to take over the running of an entire country economy? It's
all I have to worry about is the entire country of my house, my yard, my economy, what I eat, how I eat it, etc. And that's why I'm just going to go be a forest hag and not have to worry about all of this shit. It is just obvious. It's just out of control either way you look at it.
You know what? I got it. I know how we can depose the current sitting administration, and we can finally get something different in the House.
In the
We
literal
need-
House of Representatives?
In the White House. I know exactly what we need behind that desk. We need the 6'4" ripped as shit Amazon Dami Mommy. You put her on the platform, it doesn't matter what she stands for. Motherfuckers will vote just because they think that she'll put her tits on their face.
Big giant Samoan girl. Yep, let's do it.
It sounds
Let's
like
see.
you have someone specific in mind.
See, I have to point out the flaw in this, Caden. I have to point out the flaw in this. You and I
there's many
both
flaws.
know. You and I both know that won't fucking work.
Yeah, we know,
We've
we know.
seen this not fucking work.
Well, okay, hold on. To be fair, most of those people weren't actual Amazonian women.
No, but we have seen what happens when you put the oh yes, I'm a big bad Dami Mommy in charge. We've seen what happens when you put 6 of them in charge, and shit gets fucked up real quick.
Okay,
Well,
okay. To be fair, we have seen what happens when you put 6 of them in charge. The one who actually has the balls to commit to it takes 3 of them out back and goes, "We're gonna be friends now."
Well, that's when I think that everybody just becomes a simp. Oh, there's a lady in charge. Oh my gosh.
Well, that was the issue. So what we're specifically talking about is the Sims went to, what, 3 specific ones? Because they didn't actually do anything. They just stood around looking sexy and promising sex, which they never actually gave. Whereas the 5 of us who actually did something all banded together, created our own little government, and then people got pissed off because we got shit done.
Well, the people who get shit done are unfortunately the minority, and all the simps are out there just following everybody who makes up these stupid rules.
What was it I got accused of? Like, I can't think of the term right now. It wasn't revolution. A coup! That's what it was. I got accused of a coup. Because of that group of 5 people that banded together.
Don't say that too loud. You're going to get a dog hair real quick. So isn't that what 12 Monkeys was all about? I haven't seen that movie in 100 years.
Technically, no.
Okay.
12 Monkeys was about a time traveler who knew what was going to happen if certain people got elected and then had to go back in time to figure out how to stop it. But there was actually a massive shadow conspiracy group of assassins called the 12 Monkeys who was stopping anybody who actually tried to stop this because they had future knowledge somehow. And then he had to figure out if he's insane or not.
Didn't he find out it was just mostly a bunch of coincidences?
They left it ambiguous.
So I was pretty much off. All I
Yeah.
remember is that they were just, the resistance. Okay, I'm going to shut up because, again, I haven't seen that movie in 100 years. And by the way, for 100 years old, I look damn good.
You do. But I remember seeing it when it came out in theaters. And what year did that come out?
The original with Bruce Willis, I believe, was 1998.
Okay, I was 19, so yeah, they wouldn't have carded me. They didn't card me before then anyway. I kept seeing R-rated films as a teenager, and it was Mattoon. They didn't do shit.
I was gonna say, I'm like, card you? Wait, for a movie? Wait, have they ever actually carded people for a movie? Like,
I don't know if it's laziness or just my hometown didn't give a shit.
I could see it being your hometown didn't give a shit. I think most movie theaters didn't give a shit. Like, what the fuck are they gonna do?
Right.
The kid doesn't want to tell their parents that, hey, I saw an R-rated movie, even though I'm not, 17. So it's like, okay.
Mom, I snuck into the movie theater and I saw Pee Wee Herman, but he had long hair and a beard and was jerking his dick for some reason.
That was an artistic piece.
The part I love is that he only defended the once, and then I was like, but Paul, you've been arrested for it twice.
Yes, but depending on which case it is, you only have to defend the one.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, he was like, it's the only time, it's the first time I was like, no, you got arrested twice.
But was there a conviction?
God.
So how about that piracy?
Yeah, so we want to get into the piracy topic for tonight?
I mean, might as well, right?
You guys
Well, I mean,
said
it works that we went into the angry and the fuck the government and all that shit because, like I said, I did this shit in bullet points, and the first one is, let's break down the mainstream media and the people who control it.
This is true.
Like, as has been pointed out increasingly more and more over the past couple years, Rupert Murdoch and Fox. I love how that just dead silence.
Well, I mean, at least we've got the slight hilarity of Murdoch and Trump hate each other now.
Right, exactly. But for how many years did Fox just push pro-Trump, everything's fine, vote Republican, made everything Republican in a great light, and then anything that wasn't that message either got censored or demonized, pushed off the air.
Well, I mean, on top of that, before in 2015, 2016, CNN basically was giving Trump free advertising, and look how that turned out for them.
But that's what I mean is, people keep going on about, oh, this network's right wing, this network's left, and this network's, pro whatever, this network is anti whatever, and it's completely true. And the problem is, that's up to the discretion of whoever owns the network. So, like I said, Rupert Murdoch could easily, did influence millions of people because of Fox News and promoting Trump and the Republican ideals and all this shit and saying this is the way the country should be, god damn it, and then we ended up with it. And I think now he's in his office going, oh, that was bad.
Who does Paramount own? Paramount owns a bunch of...
They own CBS now, I think.
Let me see, because Paramount has been going through a lot. I think they did a merger again recently.
They did a lot.
No, they're trying to put together a merger.
Yeah.
With whom?
iDance, is it? I don't remember the exact name of the group, but yeah, that's why they're trying to appease Trump.
Okay, let's see. Parent companies are still they are Paramount Global right now. Were originally owned by Viacom from 1994 to 2005 and 2005 to 2019. Divisions: Nickelodeon, Paramount Home Entertainment, Paramount Players, Paramount Animation, and Paramount Music. A subsidiary, or they have a subsidiary of United International Pictures. They own half of that. Let's see. Is it Warner Brothers owns Marvel's now?
No, other way around. Disney owns...
Just for the record, I got on this voice channel all by myself.
You did.
Okay, anyway. I interrupted everything with a way off topic.
That's okay. Caden does it all the time.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, and I was like, we do tend to dominate a conversation.
Who, you and Olaf?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But piracy, what angle of piracy, what type of piracy do we want to cover first? Because there's games, there's music, there's bootleg, there's in person, there's digital.
It's more of an in general. So it's basically like the way I was looking at the topic was piracy in general as a institution, whether or not we find it good, bad, necessarily, morally ambiguous, ethically wrong. The censorship and shit that's been happening, the fact that we have companies saying, okay, well, you're buying this, but you're not actually buying the product. You're buying a license to access the product, but you don't own it. We don't own it. We only own the distribution rights. The creator doesn't own it. They only own the intellectual property. So, like, who fucking owns that thing? And then whether or not, if nobody technically owns the final product, is it really piracy? Is it really theft?
Well, you're
Is
taking
piracy a
money.
good thing? Can it
You're taking money out of that whole entire line of everybody that is involved with whatever you are trying to pirate. And I feel that that is why everybody is so don't record, don't do this, don't steal that. You know, if you do this, then you're stealing our product, because everybody wants their money. And again, that just boils down to the almighty dollar, which I think every conversation we have is the almighty dollar. But that's how I feel. You know, don't pirate this, because everybody in line that has anything to do, that's what they want. If you pirate something, then they don't get that. They don't get those residuals.
That's why for me, I used to pirate music. That's probably not a surprise given I'm a DJ.
LimeWire.
Napster.
Yeah, okay.
Audio Galaxy.
See, I told you I should have sent out the bullet points before we started.
No, because then it's just too, it's too linear of a conversation. It sounds too rehearsed, too practiced, yeah.
I should note, do you know what stopped me from pirating so much? I kept meeting the people I was pirating from.
Then you
And
feel
so-
guilty.
But I felt guilty. But at the same time, I was like, but they're barely getting shit if I buy this from their what if I buy directly from their concerts? So I started hitting a whole lot of concerts and just shelling out cash for their shit.
But they don't get money from concerts. They get
No,
their
I
money
went to
from
their
merch.
concerts and bought their merch directly.
Yeah, that's what I do. I went to DNV Nation and I spent a lot of money on the merch table just so I can make my little tiny contribution to their paycheck.
I mean, the honest truth is that if you ask most artists, the merch gives them more money than anything else.
Right.
Because when you buy an album, well, now they have to pay, the
Producer.
The producer has to get their cut. The production company has to get their cut.
Right.
All of these people have to get their cut and stuff like that. The merch is something that they are able to control more readily, because they can get the t-shirts, they can get them printed, and they know how much that cost them. Once those costs are covered, everything that comes in is their profit, instead of, oh, well, now we have to, this has to go through this company and then this company and then this company. And yeah, everybody's taking a small little slice, so that when it comes down to it for the artist, they're like, oh, well, we've got, we made 10 cents off the sale of that album. Great. And the person and the person had to pay $12 to $15 for an album.
I do remember being at like Monsters of Rock, and obviously a shit ton of people, and then they were out on the Exodus line, and they're like, here's a bootleg shirt. People were buying them. So does the band really make money on merch when people are out there silk screening their own shirts, selling them for $10?
Well, that depends. That depends on what design are they using and stuff like that.
The one that I remember most, because it had a big old wrinkle across the logo, was Boston.
I remember
And
have that shirt somewhere.
and so the back of the shirt had all the dates on it. Okay, well, that's still pirating merchandise. But I've come to the conclusion that if somebody is outside selling merchandise, they can fuck off. And because I feel that they are stealing, they're basically stealing from the band.
See, if they're using the official logo and stuff like that, yeah, they have a huge lawsuit on their hands.
Yeah. But
now, if it's
who is that?
inspired by, that's a bit more of an open gray area.
if anybody goes after him, who they're a popcorn fart. They just disappear, and who do you go after for that? That's why I don't buy anything outside of the venue. I don't buy anything.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, well, as with anything ever, you have to make sure of who you're buying from.
Some dude outside
If it's outside in the parking lot, don't buy from them.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Because any official seller, any officially licensed seller is going to be inside the venue. They're not going to have some van out in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that there's people out there that's what they do. $10 a shirt. Okay.
Yeah, and people who don't care about supporting the band are going to buy from them because they don't give a shit.
They just want the merch.
Yeah, they just want something with that. They just want something with that logo and that text on it and stuff. Which honestly, if you're going to do that, go to a print shop and have them make a T-shirt for you. It's so much easier.
Well, that's pirating. If you go to the print shop, that's pirating.
Yeah, technically.
I mean, what are you giggling at?
I'm giggling at a lot. I'm just waiting on my chance to slip in.
As someone who works at a print shop, we had a guy come in recently, and he does the drive-through RPG thing. So he has a PDF. He'd like to go ahead and print a copy for personal use. Now, usually they don't care as long as you're not selling these from your PDF.
Okay, on that note, what if you had somebody create AI images using a Giger engine and then have tarot cards printed, only 3 sets, and it was just the full set, it was just the major arcana? Is that pirating because it was an AI image on a Giger engine?
I mean, first of all, the engine technically pirated the images there. So does that engine have any right to it created by pilfering from other people? And if then, who all gets that? Because that image is a composite of multiple different images.
But they won't let you post that AI image with a Giger engine because it is too Giger-esque.
This is why you'll be fine if you aren't selling it. Like you've seen, and Caden, you've seen this too, the raid in Final Fantasy XIV, the Void Arc. And if that's not Giger, I don't know what is.
Lie.
Yeah.
So
AI can't. I mean, AI. If it's created by AI, you can use it as much as you want because, as pointed out in the chat here, AI generated images are not eligible for copyright.
Well, AI is skimming that whole entire world of whatever.
Well, that's what I was about to say. The AI conversation, anytime we bring AI into this, the whole conversation is going to get a hell of a lot more slippery.
Okay.
Because the artist is being hurt. Because, like, the Studio Ghibli AI filter, people don't need Ghibli to use their animators to make it now. But that's still their style, which means people can start, pushing images or whatever they want using a Ghibli style, which A, takes away from a whole bunch of artists and their livelihood, and B, can be, they can make it look like Ghibli is pushing another direction or another agenda, which they don't support. So that's like a whole ethical quandrum. But yeah, like Julie said, it is legal, but is it ethical?
Okay, yeah. What? Rasclin.
Speaking of which,
Right.
I have invited her to the conversation, but not my channel, not my choice whether or not she joins.
Yeah, we could probably fit one more person in.
Yeah, I was about to say we've got gamer slots till he decides to show up.
Yeah. I'll just need to
I didn't-
reorganize everybody a bit, but yeah. But see, the AI thing actually kind of comes back to the idea of piracy and what is and isn't piracy.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if you take a still image of Iron Man's helmet and make a shirt, Disney can come after you because, hey, that's their image. If you make an artist rendering on your own in that same style, with that same base, but in an artistic style, you are actually changing it. Therefore, it falls under fair use because it is something you have transformed it from its original concept, from its original
and
depiction.
That's what they
Right.
do with tattoos all the time. Just
Yeah.
change one little thing, and they can't come after the artist. They can't come after you, etc. So
Yeah.
The
Well,
10% difference.
what me and Olav do when we're doing logos. Like, we did our Stardew logo, we have the Raft logo, and technically those aren't theft or pirating. We're using the same aesthetic, but we're not not passing it off as like, hey, we created this, and we're not taking art from the game. Now, if we were to use the same sprites from the game, create our own game and be like, oh, hey, we made this, that's when it gets to be super fucking no.
Yeah.
well, for instance, I designed a stiletto with chainmail on it, and of course, I'm posting it on my Nightkind Designs page, etc., a Facebook page, chainmail, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look what I did. This is my stiletto with chainmail. And next thing I know, everybody on that page is putting chainmail on their shoes, on their, whatever. And I got pissed. I'm like, that's my idea. Granted, they were doing their version, but I'm like, fuck you. That's my idea. Did I feel ripped off? A little bit. It still kind of pisses me off. But it was my idea. People took it and ran with it.
Like
I mean,
1v1 fighters or collectible card games or
You know what? I just realized I have an excellent example just right on my channel. Because all of my music right now, save for my Be Right Back screen, all of my music comes from one person. And I have only ever credited them once on that channel. So, technically, under as written, I am pirating that music. But on the flip side, A, it was made specifically for the channel, and B, I have their standing position, or permission, and C, they're part of the channel.
Well, see,
So where in the vagary does that work?
you have a license.
Only verbally. I didn't
That's
purchase
fine.
any of this.
That counts. You don't have to purchase it in order to license something.
Now, from that note, because it is on the interwebs, doesn't it become free range? After
No.
you're like, here's my gift to you.
Technically, no.
No,
Because okay,
Here. I've dealt with this several times. So that person has licensed Caden and said, hey, you can use this music. I'm licensing you to use this music. Caden cannot sell that license or transfer that license to somebody else. So if somebody went and took his, even if Caden said, hey, you can use everything that I use in my stream, and they use that music, the original artist can say, I didn't license that person, I licensed you, and this license is, you cannot extend the license out.
exactly. And by extension, it's that artist has basically told me, look, I don't mind if you use any of my music, anything I produced, even before we met. The only caveat there is that, yes, they have a Bandcamp, so I just need to either A, pay for the album, or B, give them credit. And like that's their caveat. It's like, hey, make sure that even if you use it, even if you're making money off of it, at least tell people, hey, this is who made it. Go check them out.
Okay, because that's exactly what I did when I did a silly little, just a picture. It was just a still PSA, and I tagged the artist, and he was fucking thrilled. I didn't ask for permission. All I did was tag the artist, and he was just tickled shitless because that gets his name out there.
Yeah. And that's
Is
the
that
thing.
pirating? That he was like, oh my God, thank you so much. He was just grateful that I was helping get his name out there by tagging him in the picture.
I mean, technically, is it pirating? Yes. Is it copyright infringement? Yes. But as with any personal injury, if they don't press charges, nothing's going to happen. The government can't come in and say, hey, you wronged this person, therefore we're going to sue you on their behalf. The government has no standing. They're not the ones being hurt. So if the person decides, hey, you know what? I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm happy about this. Then you're in the clear.
We talk about situational things like this. So at Julian Mind's radio station, usually we'll get, if we get something digital or even with something physical, we'll get a street date and a radio air date. And I will admit, I jumped the gun on a radio air date one night, and the artist wrote me or tagged me in a post, and I was like, oh dear. And it was, we'd like to congratulate DJ Rasclin for doing the world first on this, because here's the thing. They put that radio date out not thinking anyone was going to play them on the radio at all, because a lot of people have forgotten terrestrial radio was the thing. So basically, I was lucky.
Yeah.
I think people in your line of music care more about this than mine.
I will usually petition people. Something I do on the side here is, it's no surprise that I keep, for Over the Edge, an OnlyFans account where I'm plugging the show, but I'm also looking on OnlyFans because it's not just porn. There's cooks, and of course there's DJs. You'll find every channel you ever could think of there. And so I will ask some of these DJs, hey, I'm at a radio station. I can't give you a whole lot of money, but I can get you on the air, and if you're registered with ASCAP, BMI, CSEC, you'll get your cut of your royalties that way.
Right.
Some leap right on it, some don't.
Well, that goes back to like what me and Olav were discussing earlier, was that, you know, there is a line between flat out stealing and encouraging. And like I said, the way I've been doing these topics recently is I will find people who are diametrically opposed to my viewpoint, and if I can get them to agree, I know it's a solid topic. So what I was talking about was, the main example is Metallica versus Napster and LimeWire.
yeah.
We all know this shit. At least you should if you were born in our generations. But
Memories.
yeah, it's this is one of the points I wanted to talk about. Is I am so sick of fucking hearing about lost profits, because there's a line to me. Lost profits means if you're a small company and you have created a work and someone grabs that work and starts selling it off for their profit, that's a lost profit. If you're a mega corporation or a third-party seller, Amazon, and your point is to sell other people's shit as a distributor, and then other people grab that directly from the person who created it, or are making copies and showing it to other people, you're not losing shit. You're not losing a profit because you never had it in the first place. So like if I'm sharing my Netflix password with somebody and they see a show they really like, they might decide, hey, I want a Netflix account. Then they go get a subscription. The Metallica vs. LimeWire was, Metallica would not have gotten their start if they hadn't copied their own demo onto as many fucking cassettes as they could, and pass it out by hand. And then what did we do in the day when we wanted to show someone a band? We were like, hey, there's this band I found on the radio. I went ahead and I taped every song I could find from them. Check it out, see if you like them. And then if you do, they went and bought the album. It's fucking word of mouth, guys.
But on the flip side, if they listen to it and they're just like, whatever, they were never going to buy it anyway.
Exactly.
There is no, if you gave them a copy of the cassette, there is no lost sale because they listened to it and they were not moved to buy it.
Yeah.
A while back, I haven't bought any of the new 5th edition White Wolf stuff for Vampire the Masquerade. Officially. But a while ago on the Scribed app, someone uploaded a PDF of someone's fan-based work, a guide to playing the Sabbat. Those of you at home know exactly what I'm talking about, the rest of you don't care. I read this PDF front to back, loved it, ran into them on complete accident at Gen Con, bought the copy immediately and told them that, yes, I've already read it. I liked it so much, I have to buy a hard copy.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I was saying. It was something you brought up, but I used the exact same example, was merch tables at concerts. And like, back in the day, it's not so much, it doesn't happen so much nowadays because we've shifted away from physical into the digital media. So a lot of songs and everything now only exist online, and I fucking hate that. Yeah. But back in the day, if you got that copy, you got that bootleg tape or something, you wanted to go out and buy the album or the vinyl or the cassette or whatever, because then you could hold it. It's something physical that you can point to and be like, hey, I own that now. And my example was, I'm a huge Clutch fan, to the point where I try to make it a point to go to as many of their concerts in a year as I can, and I try to go every year. But I didn't know Clutch until I heard them in Left 4 Dead. And then when I heard that song, I immediately went to Pirate Bay and downloaded the entire discography. And then from that point on, from Earthrocker onwards, I have bought every album that I can. Because I liked what I heard, and I want to own it.
But here's the thing. Owning it, as you say, is kind of an artifact of our generation. Younger people are renting stuff. They're paying for the streaming service. Can you pirate something on a streaming? I suppose you could download it somehow. But
you absolutely can.
Because nobody.
Well, me and Olaf are primed for that.
No, what I'm saying, you could make a personal copy of what you hear on the streaming. You could pirate that way, but nothing is going to get onto the streaming service in a pirated way. Yes? No? Am I right?
There are certain ways to do that. On Roku, there was a channel named Betamax TV, and it was basically like the late night horror show hosts, and they didn't care what they showed. So a lot of them would have like bootleg copies of something, and they'd just throw it on their show so that they could get the episode out, and then they made revenue off that.
Okay. But, by and large, I don't even know if people younger than us care about making personal copies of things. I've especially if it's something that's only available in digital format to begin with. Now, when you get to PDFs and so on, that's a different ballgame, but I'm talking about music at this point.
I have a thumb drive that literally has hundreds of songs on it. And is that pirating if I'm pulling it off of YouTube, Spotify, pick a streaming platform? If they're going to put it out there. Now, part of the backstory on that is that I follow Vocalist on YouTube, and he has made so much money off of YouTube that he bought his mother a house. So when I download and put a song on my thumb drive, it's already out there. People are downloading it. How much money does he get from each download? And because I'm putting it on my personal thumb drive, is that pirating?
Technically, yes, because it is creating an unlicensed recording.
But it's already out there.
Yes,
Just like
but
Yeah, in terms
okay.
of does it damage the creator, that's a grayer area.
the issues that you would come up with as far as copyright law would be, is this somehow replacing the upload that they made to YouTube? So, for example, for you, yes, kind of, but it's not really, I don't think it's gonna be a real big deal. Now, if you were to share that around, that would be replacing views on YouTube, which is where the creator makes their money.
Yeah.
I guess there's also the point that, are you downloading it from YouTube instead of buying it? Because in that case, it is kind of a lost sale.
Well, there's also the thing. YouTube does allow downloads of videos so long as you pay for YouTube Premium. But it is in their arbitration clause that there's a difference between downloading directly from YouTube and using a third-party ripping app. The moment that third party comes in, that's when the legal trouble starts.
Interesting.
That was one of the big issues in gaming when the whole Let's Play craze started, was a lot of gaming companies were saying, hey, you're replacing us. You are making it so that this is, watching somebody play a game is a replacement for them going out and buying the game and playing it themselves. It didn't hold up because
okay, hold on, this is my sarcasm moment. You remember, guys, when we were kids and we were all watching our siblings or best friends, what have you, play a game? Don't you remember looking behind them and going, God damn, I'm glad I'm not the one playing this game? We all did that, right?
No.
Well, I'd like to talk about games, but one last thing about music is, I mean, we've also been talking about cases where we have the opportunity to buy the music, but what if it's not available? What if it's...
Go ahead, sorry.
What if it's someone halfway around the world and there's no way to buy their stuff in the US, for example? Or if it's something really, really old that's out of print.
Or
and that's
all
actually
of Nintendo's old catalog.
I was gonna say that's actually something that's coming up right now in the gaming sphere. Is a lot of game makers are saying, hey, so you have to be online to play this game, but we're shutting down those servers. So you own the game, but you can't play the game.
Well, and also remember, it followed what we've been talking about for years now, is you don't own the game. You own a license to access the game.
Yeah.
That's under the POS, and a lot of people, 99.999% of people do not read the TOS.
But yeah,
Yes.
with music. Oh, sorry.
I was basically done.
Oh, okay. But yeah, with music, it's a lot the same. Like I said, it's the same as movies, same as TV shows, same as games, really, because there are, especially like in Australia, there are games that you just can't get in Australia because the Australian government says, hey, this is too violent. We're not gonna, you can't sell it here. So people have no choice but to either pirate it or get somebody in a country where they can buy it to ship them a physical copy, which you're able to do less and less.
We were just talking about that exact same topic of which you brought up. Is certain countries don't allow certain things, so let's pirate something and then send it back. So any song on YouTube, any movie on YouTube, I was watching some documentaries, I can record those and send them back because that content isn't available. So now there's two things. Well, maybe still technically one, is that you're still taking somebody's content. Now you're distributing it all over another country. So because you're crossing those country lines, those national lines, where does that come in? Like Julie was saying, you can't get somebody's music, movies, etc. here, Europe, Africa, wherever. So, how can they keep track of that, and who's losing money?
That's the issue because with any piracy, you're looking at basically copyright law, and because it crosses country lines, that becomes a stickier situation, because it's like, well, if you never distribute it in, if you don't distribute something in the United States, can the United States copyright laws really apply?
That was how Pirate Bay got away with the original lawsuit. Was that, yes, they were pirating American media and they were giving it away, but they're Swedish.
Okay, but the governing entity on that is the FBI.
It doesn't matter.
Well, how does
the entire case was
the FBI,
we're Swedish. United States copyright law doesn't hold dick here.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're just putting that big old FBI logo to make us all go, oh my God, we shouldn't download this music, movie, etc.
You wouldn't download a bear. Fuck you. Yes, I would.
Well, and I mean, that's how there were these.
Quick aside, and Juliet, you and I think both remember this from the AMV contest that they sent. Someone made a One Piece AMV spoof and it said, "You'd steal some food. You'd steal that dog. You'd steal this. Piracy slam is slam. Awesome." Slam. It was a glorious anti-PSA.
Well, see, okay, here's where the sticky part comes in. This is the one I hate. Abridged series. Right? So technically, an infringement of copyright and trademark law. Technically. Except, then you get cases like Takahata and Team 4-Star, both of who have gotten permission from the creators after the property was made, Hellsing Abridged and Dragon Ball Z Abridged, but YouTube and other publishers and other animation houses still want to hit them with the copyright suit because they feel it's wrong.
And you also get people claiming it's their own work who are lying. Which is, thank you, YouTube.
I was going to say, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, on the flip side of that, there are the infamous Russian knockoff, mostly novels I know of in this case, where they basically would take some popular book and just change a few things and, sell it, essentially somebody else's work with the serial numbers not even filed off, just roughed up a little. The classic case was the Tanya Grotter series about a girl who goes off to a magical school, and it was basically Harry Potter. Just
did she live in the tea cozy above the attic?
I don't know, probably. But in any Western country, that would have been copyright infringement because it was way too close to the original. But in Russia, nope.
Okay, so if you are translating this book, and so obviously Russian isn't going to completely translate to English. So obviously things are going to be different, the words are going to be different. So you're still, talking about the same story, or is it different because the wording, the idea of that sentence is different? Does that make sense?
Well, I know translations are covered by copyright law, if that's what you're asking. I mean, you can't just translate something into another language and claim it's a new work.
You can do the opposite, though.
Okay, then what about the Bible? The
Bible's so old that nobody owns the copyright. But as an example,
okay, so technically,
Samuel Beckett, the Irish playwright, wrote a bunch of his plays originally in French and then got the fees for translating them into English.
Right, exactly. Also, if we're going with the Bible, there's 3 very major problems with that, which is A, if we do believe it is the word of God, and it is in fact God, that means that God, Jesus, or the Holy Ghost would have to come down and be like, hey, stop fucking selling the book. And that leads to a whole different kettle of fish. That leads to the, oh, fuck, they're real.
That's I'm way too tired to not even deal with right now.
Well, it is true though that certain translations of the Bible actually are under copyright, because I used to edit. Well, yeah, I used to edit for a self-publishing house, and it mattered which translation of the Bible people. I edited a lot of religious books. It mattered which translation they were quoting, and if it was a recent one, they would have to get permission from the people who owned the rights to that specific translation.
That was going to be my next topic, is exactly what you just mentioned.
Oh, sorry.
No. That's what I was thinking, is just exactly what you said. So great minds. So whoever owns that, exactly. I'm not going to repeat that because you said it.
There's a funny case. So there's an Icelandic translation of Dracula, except whoever did the Icelandic version didn't really bother translating. They just wrote an entirely different story. Said, yeah, sure, this is the translation for Dracula. Yeah, I totally read the original and translated it. Sure, I did. So the Icelandic Dracula is a completely different book, but it was still for a while under the same copyright.
Well, let's not forget the infamous Turkish Star Wars movie.
I was gonna say, yeah, the idea of translations and other cultures' versions of it, it's like that just brings up the whole Bollywood situation.
Or one of my favorite, they call it a new movie, and then they try to homage, which is Robert Cop. It's exactly what you think.
Okay.
They lifted the movie wholesale, and they're like, no, it's not a translation. It's not a copyright thing. It's a whole new movie. He's a cop named Robert who was killed tragically and is now a robot. And they're like, so it's fucking RoboCop.
To go through the whole movie saying, "My name was Sam, damn it."
No, he barely speaks in the movie. That's the best part.
Okay, so what if they do a porn that is following...
RoboCop already exists, and yes, they do fall under copyright laws.
Do
they count as parody?
What's that?
Porn, does it count as parody?
It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, most of the time they'll label them as a parody of...
That's how Wood Rocket got a lot of their porn parodies done, is because they specifically say, this is a parody. So like, oh, okay, well, we can't say anything about it.
Isn't somebody losing money, though, because it was their idea?
Parody is covered by fair use.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you are critiquing something on YouTube, like a game or a video game, or hello, angry video game nerd. Hello, Channel Awesome.
Hello, us.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking people who are using direct video clips a lot of the time, also.
Well, no, what I'm saying is hello, us, because me and Olav fall into that category, because we don't just use video clips, we're playing it live.
And so there's also been another little tiff lately about some people are watching and they're just, they put themselves in the corner saying, this is my reaction to the game. Some of them aren't doing shit during this.
Yeah, there no facial reactions, they're not saying anything, they're just sitting there watching it and basically using their face almost like it's a watermark for their channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like I said, I think it was Hassan who had an infamous one where he said he was doing a reaction, got up, left for 10 minutes, and just let the movie play.
Go in your room.
So when it comes to gaming, I had an interesting conversation once. Andrew and I know one of the former members of our gaming group is married to a game designer, video game designer. Well, yeah. Anyway, he went on a rant once about like GameStop and the used game industry. And I mentioned this to his wife, and she said, well, you know, the thing with games is that there is no degradation. If you no wear and tear. If you buy a used copy of a game, it works exactly like a new one, and that's why they don't like it. And that's really the only thing that's true of. And I thought about that. I thought, hang on, you buy a book, a used book, you expect to be able to read all the words. You know, you buy a used DVD, you expect it to play the whole movie. So I don't feel that is actually unique to games, but...
I mean,
and of course, used copy is slightly different from piracy, but it seemed like they were viewing it almost in the same category.
The online component is responsible for a lot of that. What they started doing as early as the PS3 era was putting a code in with the game, and this code, once redeemed for online play, can only be redeemed by the first person.
Oh, they did that. They did that far before then.
Oh, okay.
They had serial. Yeah, you had serial numbers on games. Once that serial number was registered, that was it. That you couldn't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't.
That could get fucked up too, because I had my copy of Dawn of War, and they gave me a code with not enough characters in it, and they said, "We don't believe you." And I had to send them a photo, and they went, "Holy shit, we did."
Well, that was the issue with a bunch of those old games like Sierra and Tomb Raider, is that they would have the serial number, but they would do them in batches, so it was entirely possible that someone would fuck up putting in their serial number and thus render your serial number defunct.
And I suppose this relates to piracy in the sense of when companies are pulling this kind of thing, does that make piracy more
palatable?
Yeah, palatable, arguably more fair. I don't know where I stand on that. I'm just throwing it out.
Well, that was one of the points that I wanted to pop up was, you know, do we consider piracy good? Do we consider it wrong? Like, I'm not doing as a group. It's just personally, where do you stand? And then in a expanded version of that, is it ethically dubious? Because I'm counting morals and ethics as two different things here.
It's probably always ethically dubious, but whether or not it's morally dubious is the thing that I think would vary by the case. Like game preservation, I want to download a game I cannot literally buy, ever. Ethically, there's technically an issue. Morally, no one gives a shit except for a bean counter at Nintendo who would never have been able to collect profit to begin with.
Well, I think with games in particular, that's a unique area because there is the idea of abandonware.
Mm-hmm.
If a game
abandonware and vaporware.
The equivalent of abandonware for a book or a movie or a song is for it to go out of print.
I have a book, Hebrew Origins, and I have a couple different editions of it. But in the forward to the third edition, I have never found a first or second. It says, we were unable to do a complete, faithful version of this because the printing plates for the first and second editions were melted down for bullets in the Great War. It literally says that in the bloody forward. So, it can be a funny thing by the era.
Remember what I'm trying to remember what the qualifications for are for abandonware, because I know it's like it has to be out of print or nothing's been done with it for X amount of time. That's why a lot of times you'll see games, and I think also sometimes music it's like, we're going to release a compilation, or we're going to release a new grouping of this, just basically so that we're doing something with the license that we have for this media, and kick that kick the falling into abandonware down the road by, I think it's like 15 or 20 years. That's why particularly with games, you'll see like old games like the Sierra games are like, hey, we're putting this collection together. All of the Police Quest games we're releasing a new collection of this. They're the exact same games. Nothing's changed. They're just republishing it so that it kicks it further on down the road.
So maybe that's why TikTok did not have an issue. Everybody knows that if you use your own sound, your own music, TikTok will say, yes, we can let it pass, or no, that song is way too new or something. I just did a silly little commercial, and I was badly singing America's Horse with No Name. Put it on TikTok, and they didn't have an issue. So does that fall under abandonment?
I don't think that would fall under abandonment. That is doing your own version of it.
Yeah.
Which means that you're only responsible to one person, and that is the person who wrote the song.
They're probably dead by now.
Yeah, music has two licenses that you have to look at. One is the publisher, and one is the person who wrote the song. If you're using a recording, you have to get permission from both of them. If you're doing your own version of it, you only have to get the permission from the writer of the song.
They're dead
So
too.
a good example of this is Tom Lehrer, about 2 years ago, revealed when he released all of his music from the 1940s on, he never signed a contract for distribution rights with any of the records that he released under. So normally, if I were to redo the song, use the same music, or, sing over a copy of his music, I would be in trouble from the distribution company because I'm using the music without their permission. However, Tom revealed that because he never signed that, the only person who held the rights was him. He's released all rights to his music, so they are now completely fair game for using in song or using in media, creating parodies, creating your own versions, covering any of that, so long as you give him credit and say, hey, Tom Lehrer wrote this, not me.
So that reverts to what Olaf was saying, is that they will put out, what would you say, to keep it in rotation so it doesn't have that abandonment thing?
They'll re-release a lot of times, especially in games, they'll re-release something so that it's not abandoned.
Like, a lot of these reboots that happened that were absolute shit, like, obviously nobody cared about them, it wasn't because there was a resurgence in interest in the property or the studio actually thought it was going to make money. It's because the rights were about to default, it was about to go into public domain, and their only option is you let it go to public domain, or you create a new property, the copyright reverts, and then we hold on to the rights.
No, that's a little bit different. That's a little bit different, because they don't have to make a new version of it to keep it from going into abandonware. They just have to do something with it.
Yeah.
So, for example, they could say, hey, we're gonna put up a special package where, if you buy the latest Resident Evil, you get Resident Evil 2 along with it. That's doing something with it. That's releasing it. So they still hold so that can't go into abandonware. They don't have to remaster it or anything like that.
There's also, we see this in movies, Sony repeatedly using Spider-Man characters in what may or may not be decent films to keep the rights from reverting back to Disney, Marvel, etc.
Mm-hmm.
On the
Which
other
is
hand,
why No Way Home was such a bitch of a thing, because that required Sony agreeing to it, it required Fox agreeing to it, and it required Disney agreeing to it.
but that's assuming the company that holds the rights still exists. In the case of games, let's say you're a little game studio, you make a couple of games, you go out of business. There is going to be no legal way to get your games ever again.
That there's a little bit more to it for example,
Well,
the Sierra issue. Sierra no longer exists as a company. They no longer exist. But when they
I'm
went
sure
out
somebody bought it.
when they went, that's the thing. When they went out of business, somebody bought all of the licenses for all of their games.
Fair. But if you're, just a small company, not very successful, you just go belly up, nobody buys your IP. That's it for opportunities to get it. I am on myabandonware.com, by the way, and they have got more than 35,000 games available there.
Oh yeah.
That are abandonware. What was that?
Commander Keen.
You said Commander Keen. I was just reading about Fallout 2 and Vampire Bloodlines.
Bloodlines 1 from 2004. I still have my hard copy, and I use the soundtrack. Actually, I bring a copy in, and we've also had a copy that was donated to WEFT, and it was a glorious, glorious game.
Yeah,
So-
myabandonware.com. That's a wonderful site to get old games from.
Now, do you get to buy these old games? Do you get to claim them yourself?
No, you can just download. They are abandoned games that nobody has done anything with in the past 10 years. So yeah, they're just
Effectively public domain.
Yeah.
There's a game from Japan that I don't think a translation in English I kind of want to look up now.
Are you thinking of Metal Wolf Chaos?
That is a tempting one, but oh gods, when Dayton brought that thing. But no, I was thinking the Legend of the Galactic Heroes stuff that got released over time. Some for Super NES, some for PlayStation, and some more modern versions before the Crunchyroll reboot in recent years.
We won't derail the conversation explaining Metal Wolf Chaos, but maybe some other time. It's quite the rabbit hole.
Yes. We should almost grab Dayton and say, "Can you give a lecture on this?" And we'll be stuck there for hours.
Heck, have him do a Let's Play.
That's my point.
I think
This is giving me ideas for that idea that me and Olaf were kicking around.
What idea was that?
A 24-hour live stream.
Oh. I think one of the most classic forms of piracy is when you would sneak in your video camera and video the movie.
I'm sorry, did you mean
yeah.
your potato?
Or a tape recorder and record a concert.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Has everybody seen the movie Diva?
No.
It's
I
a
may have, I don't know.
French movie from the early 80s, I think. It's about this kid who is a fan of this opera singer who refuses to release recordings because she's like, no, it's all about the experience of the live performance, man. This cannot be recorded. But he goes to her concert and surreptitiously records it. And then the tape this is a cassette tape, and it winds up accidentally getting switched for this cassette on which this mobster has like dictated his confession, naming names. And so he's like on the run, has the mob after him, doesn't know why. Great movie. Highly recommended. All about piracy.
I'd have to look.
Why did Airheads come into my mind?
So, in your bullet points, where are we? I mean, besides all.
Oh,
of
we've
that.
been going around the map. Because, like I said, bullet point 1 was all like explain mainstream media, the people who control it, the monopolies, the money, and the megalomania. Point 2 was censorship, its impact. Remember, censorship is not out of control right now. It's just out of your control, unless you fight back. Point 3 was censorship as a weapon and as a tool. Why do we censor? Why do we frame it as a moral imperative? What the fuck even are morals? Point 4 was piracy, the resistance to the agenda. Is it wrong? Is it ethically dubious? If no one owns the media, is it still theft? Why should we be paying for shit that we can't even consume properly because of ad censorship, executive meddling, profit versus lore, etc., etc.? Then the artist vision versus corporate machine, as well as the visionary versus the watchdog, and lost profits and the fallacy thereof.
See, that's why I don't make bullet points for
Look,
topics
I am
like
passionate about this subject, and I wanted to go deep into it, damn it.
Well, I saw a YouTube video a while back in which the presenter was making a case that the benefits of piracy outweigh the drawbacks, and his point was that there are things that would have been completely lost if it hadn't been for pirates.
Exactly.
There are TV programs, for example, that, you know, the original tapes were destroyed back in the days when they used to just erase them, and they were only saved because someone had managed to make a copy from a broadcast. Or games, as you say, that where the creator, like it had an online component and they shut down all the servers, and now the only way that the game is preserved at all is on pirate servers, that kind of thing. I don't know if I agreed with everything the guy said, but he definitely made some very provocative points.
I mean, that's one of the things that irritates me with like Ubisoft and Rocksteady, or not Rocksteady, Rockstar games and stuff like that, is all of their stuff. Well, you have to log into, you have to log in, have an account with our system in order to play the game. And it's like, so, and Rockstar had like the Rockstar Social Club, I think, at one point, and then they changed the name, changed the servers and everything, so games that you had bought that used that specific social club account, those have nothing to connect to anymore. So it's like, hey, you have to repurchase this game in the modern era if you want to play it. I think specifically that was Grand Theft Auto 4, if I remember right.
Anyone who owned their online copies of Warcraft 2 or 3, when Warcraft Reforged became a thing, actually it was just 3, suddenly found out that their copy didn't work anymore and you had to buy the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, no, I purchased this game physically back in the day. I don't care what's in the fine print. What you're pulling means your ass to mine on the 7 Seas, motherfucker.
That's like, oh god, what was it? It's it was the Mad Max game. They had it so that it connected online, and like some of the perks that you could buy in the gameplay was like, okay, well, this specific area will go around and collect scrap metal so that you'll always have a supply of it there when you need it. Problem was it used their online servers. So when they shut down the servers, all of a sudden that aspect of the game, it's like, well, that's completely null and void now. And thankfully, I think they updated it so that it's like, hey, it's just going to run off your computer's clock. So after 20 minutes, they'll get a fresh batch of scrap in. It's a rare case of them saying, hey, yeah, we fucked up. We're going to patch the game so that it fixes this problem. But yeah, a lot of stuff like that's just annoying, where it's like, hey, this all ties into our servers, so yeah. And that's the big push for oh god, what was it? It was the petition that really got Pirate Games in trouble. What was that? Hang on a moment here.
That Mad Max game was absolutely horrible. Just horrible. Graphics, everything.
That's not Stop Killing Games.
Yes. Yeah, Stop Killing Games was the movement. It was basically, it's a big petition over in Europe that says, hey, if you're going, that is trying to change the laws so that you can't just shut down your servers. People have to have a way to play games after you decide that you're done with it.
Right.
Interesting.
And see, then we get to the things like, well, what if a creator releases it, but then the platform or distributor that they release through decides they don't want to have it anymore, or they fold into pressure for censorship? Big thing that's going right now is that both itch.io and Steam have been catching shit because, okay, it's focused on adult games, but they have, in the past, folded under pressure to take games off of their marketplaces because companies or special interest groups pop in and go, oh, well, you can't have that anymore. That's too violent. That's too anti-whatever. That's too pornographic. Well, then what happens to the creator? Now the creator's losing sales.
I mean, it seems like there should be a rule that the rights automatically revert to the creator in that case. There probably isn't, but it seems like that's the obvious solution.
I mean, okay, so a lot of the distribution platforms, they have sort of a double catch on that. The creator does retain rights to the product, but as far as the one that is released on their platform, it's like kind of a gray area because, okay, we took it off the platform, but you still agreed with us to distribute it, so we still have a say, and if we decide we want to put it back up later, you can't pull that and say, oh, well, I don't want to have that on your site anymore, unless you go through like a huge legal thing.
Yeah, that's tricky.
But see, like, yeah, that goes into it because a lot of those games, especially on Steam, Steam's content guidelines are not exactly strict. They're kind of fast and loose, so a lot of things can get you tagged for like mature content or adult content. And then they were saying, oh, we're going to cut back on the amount of titles that are tagged adult content on our platform, but they didn't specify what kind of adult content. They were just going to go through the tag and cut an arbitrary number of games. So if there was a game that was marked adult content because there was a lot of smoking or a lot of drinking or just situations that are considered too graphic for their normal situation, well, that game gets pulled, but not because of the same reason that that porno game that you paid $40 got pulled. And now you can't get that game unless you happen to have a copy of it. But you can't play that copy because you have the whole agreement with Steam that you're not allowed to distribute or make a personal copy. So how'd you get it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, besides Steam, you really have to look at Nintendo right now, too, and what they're doing with the Switch 2. Because they're not just saying, oh, well, you shouldn't pirate games, you should only play official games. They actually have it in their agreement that they will completely break your Switch 2 if you play an unlicensed game.
Yeah, they're going back to what they used to do back when the NES was a thing, which was legal.
I mean, no, this is worse than the NES. because the NES wouldn't just stop working. This, it's just no. You played a game that we didn't, that isn't authorized through our system. So now you have a several $100 paperweight. You can't play official games anymore. It is completely disabled, and you're never getting it back. And their whole argument is, well, you're not actually buying the product. You're not actually buying the Switch 2. You're licensing the Switch 2.
Now, here's the other part. Is because they also encourage you to go through the Nintendo network. Do they not only brick your system, but ban your account? Like, if you tried to buy a new Switch and play anything, do they still have restrictions on your account?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about that. It's just, you can go out and buy a new Switch too, but yeah, the one you bought before is just, it's done.
I mean, I would hope not, because that already pisses me off that they can break my system at any time. But then if I bought a new one, be like, okay, I've learned my lesson. I'll play an official game, and then I go to pop in Zelda, and it breaks that one too because it's the same account. Fuck you.
I don't know if they could actually do that. They might have it so that, hey, you have to create a new account that you just, you try and register with your previous account. And they're like, sorry, this account is disabled. We can't register anything to it.
I just realized they wouldn't want to do that, because if you logged onto your account while you were over at a friend's place onto their Switch and they break their system because of that account being flagged, that's not going to go over well for them.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is I'm hoping they wouldn't do something like that, because not only does it open themselves up to a lot of shady situations, but also it discourages any purchase of the damn system in the first place.
I mean, what you just told me alone is enough to make me decide never to buy one. Emulation is the way.
Yeah, and that's exactly where most people are getting into problems, is they get an emulated game that, Nintendo just isn't releasing for the Switch 2, and yeah, they're like, oh, well, great, so I paid several $100s for this piece of shit, and now it's just, it's...
Paperweight.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
That's like if you read an unauthorized book, they're going to come by and blind you.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, let me see. Here's Nintendo's intellectual property and piracy FAQ.
Are we about to hate everything about Japan in a moment?
No, because remember, this isn't Nintendo of Japan. The two specific, I don't want to say companies because they're the same goddamn company. The two specific branches coming under fire of this for right now is Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo of US.
Yeah, Europe at least has it in the laws. In their law, the EU has laws that are like, no, you can't do shit like this. So in the EU, they can't just outright break the Switch 2. Here in the United States, however, well, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
We're like a bigger version of Singapore. I can't believe I just said that.
Now here's the funny thing. Remember when Game Sharks came under fire for being technically game mod devices, and then was that fucking with the game code?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is depressing. Do we want to go into Metal Wolf Chaos?
And hello there, gamers.
I mean...
Right. I need to run to the bathroom real quick, so I'll be right back.
One other thing I was going to mention while you're looking that over is that video that I mentioned earlier talked a lot about digital preservation and that is actually a very big issue in the library sciences field. I have a friend who kind of specializes in that. And she knows people who, for instance, made digital movies on software that doesn't run anymore. And so in some cases, it took them years to make the movie, and they were using obsolete software by the time they were done. There was no way to really convert it over, and boy, I wish we could get her to come on and tell us what she knows about that, because that's a whole nother giant area of concern.
I have a friend also in media preservation down at the University of Georgia, who I almost thought you were describing her.
I mean, we can talk to Olav about it, or if you guys want, I've been trying to bring Howling back. We can just put it on an episode of Howling one night.
Could be fun.
Games preservation and Metal Wolf Chaos.
Hey, I'm a lot more lax on my channels.
I mean, the other thing that I would hope we get a chance to talk about is Wizards of the Coast and their whole no PDFs thing.
Strange stance from a group that can't stop using AI and claiming it's not using AI.
Hey, you know what we should have brought up was our infamous in perpetuity argument that we were talking about. And how in perpetuity does not mean until we decide to change the contract.
Oh, are you talking about the OGL?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was, what was it? It didn't include the word unbreakable or some equivalent thereof. Irrevocable, that was it.
Yeah, the original OGL said these are in perpetuity. And it wasn't indefinite until the publisher decides. It was in perpetuity, and everyone's like, well, that means forever.
Yeah, I personally am of the opinion that if they had tried to take that to court, Wizards would have lost. But I guess we'll never know. I hope we'll never know, because I hope this doesn't come up again. Somebody else can be the guinea pig,
according to everything I can find, it's not a account lock. It's an actual software. What do you want to call it?
Firmware?
Yeah, it's like a firmware kill code, basically.
Sounds like it's something someone could reverse if that's how it is, and it's not actually.
So basically what it is once it transmits it to the hardware itself shuts down. So it is blocked from online access forever.
Online access. Okay.
Yes, but the Switch 2, their big selling point is that it's all digital copy and online. So essentially, if you can't get online and you can't buy the digital or play the digital copies, you don't have shit.
There we go.
Someone's got to have a workaround on this.
Oh, there we go. I was wondering what was going on with the cameras.
Well, somebody else jumped in after I got them all
I'm
set up.
so sorry.
Twice.
I'm so sorry.
I told you, every time he comes in, the conversation gets derailed, everything goes to shit.
I bring my Canadian virus with me, I guess. So how's everyone doing?
Getting by?
Murderous and rebellious?
Ah. Okay.
Every day I live, I am more and more inspired by that H.L. Mencken quote. At times, every normal man must be inspired to spit on his hands, raise that black flag, and start slitting throats.
All right.
okay. But yes, I agree. And how are you doing, gamer?
I'm okay. This is now the third podcast I've been on today.
What were the others?
Now popular.
Olaf. What am I saying? Stu had one, and then Lewis, who is a subscriber of both mine and Stu, he has a podcast out of Mexico, and he brought us on, both me and Stu, to talk about, I guess, just different video games and stuff like that. It was interesting.
You know what we need? We need a good German. That's what we need in this crew.
I'm half German. Does that count?
There you go.
I'm
The only,
German descendant.
the only German I know is sauerkraut. So
Sauerkraut is very German.
So I'm pretty much off that list.
I love going to the so-called German family reunions that we have around here. Specifically, one of the local historical societies, the Germana Foundation, supposed to be the historic preservation of the first colonies in the United States. Before Jamestown, there were the Germans. And they're like, everything's authentic German, don't worry about it. Every year they get a band called the Lowenbrows, and every year I have to physically restrain myself from rushing the stage and punching them out, and asking, how the fuck is Sweet Caroline German?
What?
Right. They start singing it, and like one year I actually shouted, "Are we in Boston?" Credit where credit is due. They paused for a half a second, went, "Yeah," and then kept going.
Less than a feeling.
Ugh. Also, I wouldn't mind so much if it weren't for the fact that nobody there can actually speak German. And they invited German delegates and then realized they can't fucking communicate.
This seems ill-conceived.
So it was great for me because I went up to one of them and I just like kind of side-eyed. I was like, I know you speak English. And they're like, yeah, but these people are idiots. I was like, fair. Continue.
So, how about them pirates?
Which one? Do you want the baseball team? Do you want the hockey team? Do you want us? Do you want the...
Oh, we don't have a sound for that.
What, pirates?
No,
Wait, do I still have nitro? Because I might be able to get to my soundboard.
make some noise with nitro? I don't have it, obviously.
What the hell? Rask, I need your advice.
All right.
I can use my sister's Final Fantasy XIV Discord soundboard, but I am scared to click on the button marked potato.
You know it's going to be a Lalafell being very excited.
Do it.
I imagine so. That's why I was like, should I click on this?
Yes! Listen to Nightkind and do it!
I'm a potato.
God, this
Close
got to
enough.
be the dubbed version.
Wait, hold on. There we go.
All right, yep.
We need the soundbite from the little kid that's like, I like turtles. Do you guys
One
know
night...
that? No,
One
no.
night... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, nobody knows that one? The little
I
kid?
know
we
it.
do.
I
No,
don't
I-
have it handy.
Okay.
The crazy thing is that the kid from that thing, when he grew up, he went back to doing that stupid meme. He dressed himself up. I guess he's got a YouTube channel now, so he dressed himself up the exact same way that he was when he was a kid, and did the exact same line. I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, ride
right.
that horse.
If it made you money, run it.
Yep,
That's
ride that
true.
horse.
So what
well,
do you-
are we?
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
I was gonna say, gamers. So it seems you're here now. What are your thoughts on piracy?
Well, so I read an article by the creator of Minecraft, and he was saying, with game companies saying that when you buy our games, you don't technically own the game, and we have every right to take it away from you. He said, well, if that's the case, then pirating a game shouldn't be illegal. And I agreed with that, actually. I thought to myself, you know what? He's right. Because, I mean, what does it matter if we don't own the game anyway? Because either way, you don't own the game. If you buy it legally, you don't own the game. And then if you buy it illegally, you don't own the game either, but you just save money.
True.
You know, the funny thing is they keep telling us that if we want our own games, we should just create them. Well, cool, we did that, but now how do we share them with people?
Yeah. But no, I think it's stupid that all these game companies are coming out and saying, like, Ubisoft is one of them. I think Rockstar was another. There's a few others I can't remember. The only ones who haven't have been like Naughty Dog and Insomniac Games, but a lot of the bigger names are saying, like, oh, you don't actually own our games. You may have given us your money, but they're still our games, and we have every right to take them from you whenever we choose, and you can't do jack shit about it.
And it's not just games, books, movies, music.
Yeah.
Everything's moving to that model.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
This is the
Fang.
thing.
his name is Fang.
Bang.
I love it. Very cute.
It's like, hey, what's going on up here? What are you doing with this thing?
He wanted to see what we were talking about, so I brought him up. And then he's like, oh, yeah, okay, I've seen it, thanks.
Damn, I found an entire site full of fun sounds I could put on my Discord soundboard, but I can't download any of them.
Well, I thought Olaf downloaded or made a bunch more.
Not yet. I mean, we have a few, but
Yeah. No, I was gonna screw with your head and put the Discord leave noise on my soundboard.
no. I still have a problem with Stardew Valley when you the little sale bin that they have, when you close that, it has the same sound effect as a message coming in from Discord.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be playing that, and all of a sudden I close that, and I'm like, wait, who's just sent me? What now? Let's see here. Next week, what is it? Next week that you're going to Gen Con? Okay.
I was going to be doing a photo shoot in Michigan this week, but that got canceled. Hence, I'm back.
Nuh-uh.
Uh-huh.
Fibber, you did not.
Are you saying it didn't get canceled?
Rasclin.
Yes.
The question. No, it didn't get canceled? Are you going to Gen Con?
I am going to Gen Con.
The photo shoot before Gen Con
Got
that he was
canceled.
going to, that's what got canceled.
And that's why he's here now.
Yes.
Yes.
So next week is okay. Yeah. And I think that all y'all were supposed to vote about him doing a video about Gen Con.
I was going to say, did you want Gen Con footage live while the podcast is going on?
I mean, I guess we could do that.
Live from Indianapolis! Oh gods, imagine if I did the true dungeon like that.
I won't be here next week. I'm camping.
All right. Sounds like we might have a bit of a light crew next week.
I'm trying to find that specific sound, but it's very hard to. The hell do you mean upper ambience? What the hell is upper ambience?
Techno ambient?
No, it's like Stardew upper ambience. I'm like, what the fuck is upper ambience?
It's the ambience from too many people around you doing cocaine and the noise they make. Cocaine's an upper, it counts.
So I guess there's this new drug that's over the counter at gas stations called Flocka. And it's apparently just like super highly addictive. Anybody can buy it. And so, you know, everybody's on the streets. They think they're running around naked. They're hearing shit. And you are high for hours.
So speaking of Stardew, are we going to do Stardew Extended?
Extended?
Yeah, so apparently there is a modded version of the game, which Concerned Ape knows about, that adds at least 28 other characters, and then there's Stardew Extended Unlimited, which allows you to add your own characters, including like Simon Belmont and God knows who else.
Oh, God.
Tell me it's the Captain N version of Simon Belmont.
I don't know, it's whatever you want. I was about to say, I just looked on the official wiki, and they're like, hey, here's a mod guide to the audio, including how to rip it and replace it. So speaking of pirating, apparently Concerned Ape is like, fuck it, I made the game, have fun.
Well, I don't think modding counts as pirating. Because it is just alterations to the base game.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know do you have to buy the Stardew Extended, or can you just, like, grab it? Yeah, there it is, Stardew Expanded. No, it's a Nexus mod.
Okay.
So that gives us the whole thing, like, okay, that technically is Stardew just with a mod, but it's also a different game? Because it includes new locations, characters, events, reimagined festivals. At what point is this no longer Stardew?
Yeah.
I don't know if the creators care as long as you pay them for Stardew.
Yeah, Concerned Ape is really, really relaxed about that type of stuff.
Well, Concerned Ape also has, like, a unique relationship with Stardew. He loves the fact that Stardew has become so popular and been so successful, but he honestly thought it was a stupid-ass game that would never launch. Because he's like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was literally just doing this when I was, like, between shifts on my job. I didn't know how to code. I was watching YouTube videos and learning how to code.
So I know some of the things you wanted to talk about were about censorship. Did you say what you wanted to say about that, or?
I will
Censorship
never be able to go through everything I want to say about censorship.
I mean, as relates to piracy.
Well, okay. See, the thing is, that's what I was saying earlier with the Steam and Nintendo and all that stuff. That's what a lot of this comes around to, is why people are bringing piracy back up as a topic, is because due to censorship, games are being pulled, or there's saying, okay, well, this project you've been working on, you have to either cut it down or completely redo it, or you have to abandon it because we're no longer going to support it. And it's okay, well, if you can't, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. If you can't get it through a legitimate means because it was pulled for censorship, or the game was abandoned because the studio came in and was like, oh, hey, So the parent company called and they said they're not going to support it because this game isn't going in a direction that they want us to go to. But we have the ability to grab the files. Is it morally or ethically wrong for us to grab them and distribute them?
Speaking of what you just said, I heard somewhere, I don't know if this is true or not, you guys use Steam more than I do, but apparently Steam has been removing games left, right, and center from their service. Is that true?
Yes, that's what I was talking about earlier, is Steam and Itch are both coming under fire, specifically because the games that they're removing are adult games or not safe for work, but they're not doing a strict guideline on specifically what it is. So yeah, they're removing porn, but also they're removing anything that falls under that tag, and that tag is pretty fucking broad.
Yeah, so I'm assuming Cyberpunk's been removed then. That's full on fucking porn in spots. That's crazy.
I actually had to go check my wish list. I was like, oh my god, how many of my wish list games got taken down?
Yeah, I might have to look into that too, because I have...
Nope, Cyberpunk is actually going up in price.
Yeah, well, most games and consoles and shit are going up in price dramatically because of the tariffs Trump put on all electronics.
Well, partially that, but also just because companies are getting greedy.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there was actually one company recently that was like, well, we were going to charge $80 for this new game, but we're going to back it off to the previously established $70. And everybody's like, okay, so why don't you just do that with all your fucking games then? Like, why, obviously it's you're just wanting bigger profits. It's not that you're, that you have to do it in order to pay for the development of the game. You're just doing it because you just want a bigger paycheck at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the games that I would say I probably won't, but I would totally understand if people did decide to pirate it, would be Subnautica 2. Because there's a certain point when we're talking about the ethical, whether it's ethical or not. So a little bit of a back history with Subnautica and stuff. Little indie development company called Unknown Worlds made Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero. And then they were bought out by a much bigger company called Crafton Inc. And they started developing Subnautica 2.
Crafton are the Crafton are the terrible
Yes.
game company that made oh god, what's that game called? That horror game that was trying to be like Dead Space that failed miserably because it was a shitbox game.
I don't remember what that one was, but yeah.
Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, okay. But what they did was they bought Unknown Worlds and bought the rights to get them to make Subnautica 2 under Crafton Inc.'s name. With the agreement that if they met certain sales projections, then they would get like a multi-million-dollar bonus. But those sales projections had to be by the end of 2025. And within the past, I think month or two, they have fired the top 3 developers on Subnautica 2 and pushed it back to 2026. So they're not even going to release the alpha in 2025. Thereby making sure that they will never have to pay that bonus because you can't meet a sales goal in a year without releasing the actual game. Basically, Crafton Inc. is saying, hey, we are setting you up 100% to fail at getting your bonus. So I think at that point, I think there is a certain point where, you know, I think that would, you know, ethically, would it be ethical to pirate that game? I think so. That would be an example of one of those situations where it's like, yeah, that all the bullshit that the publisher is doing to make sure to try and save money is justifiable, I think.
So punitive punishment.
Yeah.
Or punitive piracy, rather.
Yeah. Like, hey, you're trying to make sure that these people don't get the money that you promised them after they worked hard for you on this game. Why the fuck should you get any money? Like, if it was just Unknown Worlds and, you know, the lead developers and the lead programmers and stuff were the ones getting the money, yeah, I would advise buying it. But it's like, yeah, this is some seriously shady shit.
Well, it's not good whenever Krafton's involved anyway, because they make absolute terrible games. They have yet to make a good game. They usually rush their games. They release them so buggy that they're unplayable. Yeah, they're a mess of a company.
So what you're saying is we should pirate these games and make them better.
You could mod them and make them better, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, no. When Callisto Protocol came out by Krafton, it was just a disaster, and I mean, they lost so much money off of that game because so many people boycotted the game because it was just a fucking disaster of a game, and it never recovered. I mean, it's still like, I think it's got like 2 out of 10 ratings across the boards, some even less. Like it's really bad. It was a really shitty game. But it is what it is. So anytime they're involved in any kind of game, I kind of I have no trust in it. Let's just say that.
Yeah, the good thing is, I think for this one, for Subnautica 2, is it's like they just bought they bought Unknown Worlds and were like, okay, you guys do your thing and we'll publish it.
I hope you're right, because as soon as they get their grubby oven mitts involved in it, they're gonna destroy it. I'm telling you right now. At least from like a programming standpoint, anyway.
I mean, yeah, it's from everything that I've seen so far, it's like, yeah, it looks like it's just the standard, you know, pretty much the standard Unknown Worlds production, so
That's good. At least. Yeah, I don't know what's going on lately with video games. I find more and more fucking garbage shovelware being just piled onto all these different platforms. And it's like Pet the Cat, the game, and fucking whatever the hell else. There's just shit games. And I'm like, who is buying these? Like, there's no way that there's a fucking following for Pet the Cat, the game, or whatever else crap that they've been putting on these consoles and PC and everything. It's ridiculous.
You're not going to go into Goat Simulator.
Well, Goat Simulator is at least fun. I mean,
Yeah.
these other games are just idiotic. They're shovelware trash. And I mean, the fact that I'm seeing them more and more instead of like decent games, it's just ridiculous. And there is no way in hell that if these people were to pull up a record of all the sales they made off of that game, There's no way in hell they justified. Yeah, I can't see anybody buying these games. I'm sorry. Nobody's sane anyway.
I'm trying to think of the weirdest game I've ever picked up in recent memory. And it probably was shovelware that was included in a bundle.
Oh, if it's included in a bundle, that's different. But if you're buying it like as itself, that's questionable. If you're forced to have it in your collection because it was a part of a bundle, that's acceptable. But oh boy. I don't know. And these games, I don't know, like they're just I mean, don't get me wrong, I've never played any of them. I've looked at screenshots and that was enough. That was enough for me to go, yep, nope. I don't even know why I bothered looking at the screenshots. It's like, damn,
y'all
now
start
I have
talking
to.
about games, and I'm like, just, okay, game, and I'm, you know me, I don't play
Yeah.
all these games, so.
That's fair.
I've just
I'm-
lost myself in soundboards, that's all.
I am barely into Baldur's Gate 3. Barely. And the
Also,
reason
I'm just enjoying watching everybody when I just play this one.
Isn't
you
Baldur's
laughing
Gate
at?
isn't Baldur's Gate 3 like ridiculously long?
It is.
And-
I
pretty
mean,
long.
define raunchy.
What? I said
no,
long.
long.
No,
What?
it's not long.
Hold on. What
I-
the hell did you think I said?
You sound like you're fucking shouting down a hallway through a loaf of bread, alright?
All right, hold on. Is that better?
No.
I was gonna say I hear him just fine, so
Yeah,
I'm.
so do I.
Well, you guys are loud as hell. Hold on, if I just never turned him up in his entire existence? Nope, he's still turned down to like 90%.
Okay. Well, there's the problem, asshole.
No, the question is, why is it do I have them turned up to 200, but I've never bothered turning you up?
I don't know.
Why
I
do
think
you
it may have
have-
been. Do you remember the one time where there was like an echo on my mic, but we got it resolved? Maybe you had turned it down then and never.
No, I
turned
just
it
muted you.
Take that, you filthy bugger. We'll just mute you.
If I can break in for just a moment, I kind of have to be going. But thanks so much for inviting me in tonight. This is a topic that I find really interesting, so I'm glad that I got to take part in the discussion.
Not that.
And if anybody wants to know where to find me, just listen to Andrew's Rasclin's description
Whoops.
of
Yeah.
his radio
There's
station.
also
Oh
like
dear.
right up over here. There's the weft
I'm just giving you shit, Julie.
Yeah.
information there. So
Excellent.
You can also go to my channel and look at the shout out video. I shout out all these assholes. Except for gamers. Fuck him.
Okay.
actually, I was
Am
thinking
I
we might.
giving everybody shit?
What'd you say?
I just gave Julie shit, and I'm like, should I not be giving shit because I'm just a baby. I'm just an infant here.
Are you kidding?
No, actually, technically, you've
seen
been
those
here
two.
longer than Julie.
Yeah,
So,
you have. So you are my senpai, and it is your job to give me a hard time.
Okay, deal.
I was gonna say, isn't it nice to where you don't have to be the one being like, I'm so pretty.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys gave me shit about that on the guilty as socks.
Mhm.
Because it was guilty as suck.
Sorry.
No, okay, if we were over on... No, because if we were over on my channel, you've still been there longer than Julie.
All right. Well, I'm thinking we should probably call it a night because we've been going for just over 2 hours at this point. So, and I think we've
Probably
touched
a
all
good
the main points.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
If I want to go any deeper in it, I'll just make a long form video at this point.
So, I guess, Caden, how are you feeling as far as doing raft tonight?
Let me piss and I'll be fine.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm not saying like right immediately.
You meant into
No,
the
that's what I'm
ocean.
saying. Just give me a second to, get unwound,
Well, I'll give
stretch,
you a-
and get some food. I'll be fine.
Probably give you a half an hour to an hour or so, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, you guys want to say your good nights? All right, go ahead, Nightkind.
Incoming dad joke.
Exactly. So it's funny how Coldplay hasn't put out a new song in years, but they made two singles in one night.
Ba-dum-ching.
Oh,
No.
You know, we got it. We got it.
Okay. Have you all heard that one?
and it was an
I
LP
hadn't.
too. Oh shit.
No, I haven't either.
I
Okay.
have heard it a couple places, but I'm in the worst places for memes, and by worst I mean most exposed to them.
Okay.
See, Mr.
Then I
Plain,
will have to up my joke game.
Mr. Plain with
and-
the soundboard, you forgot. We've
I didn't
got
forget.
that on there.
I was very
All you
delayed.
gotta-
No. I was playing with my soundboard, so it should have been.
Okay, one more because all y'all heard that one already. So, what's black and white and red all over?
Tell us.
A newspaper.
You heard it here first, folks.
Right.
All right. Gamers, anything going on your channel that you want to promote?
Well, yeah. I'm going to be streaming some more games over the next couple of days. We're also
Gamers Grotto
starting...
streaming games. Oh god.
I know, right? It's unbelievable. And we're also going to be on Stu's channel, starting up a podcast as well, regularly. I think our next one, we're going to be talking about the advances and disadvantages of AI, which there's more disadvantages than advantages. But
All right.
Yeah.
And Caden?
Join us in a half hour, maybe an hour for more raft. Keep an eye out for if I manage to get Howling back. I'm also going to be streaming more Oblivion, more Blueprints, maybe more Fix Fox. That one's really up to my audience because I barely got through an hour of that shit. There's just so much downtime between the puzzles. So if you guys want to see more of that, you let me know. May or may not start streaming on Twitch. I also have a Redbubble now. So thank you to Olav for that. Credit where credit's due. So yeah, check out Den of the Bullfox. Come join the chaos. Don't expect anything professional because fuck it, I cannot be asked with that shit. And up next.
All right. And that leaves Rasclin.
No, give Julie a chance first. She has a radio show too.
Yeah, Rasclin always does his radio voice, and I don't usually bother, so I'll give it a try. Tune in next Sunday night at 6 o'clock for Celtic Music Go Bra on WEFT Champaign. I also do radio theater on Monday nights at 7.
Radio voice.
Very nice.
Oh, before Ras goes, I do have one question.
What's that?
Because we have 4 of us here. Do we want to do Leverage Season 2?
I'm assuming it's happening. Maybe Rasclin's next birthday.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, yeah.
I was about to say, if we have interest, we can
I did
put it together.
I did realize that I have been worrying about something that I shouldn't have been worrying about with my character.
What was that?
What's that?
I always worry that, after I've done the disguise and everything, that somebody's going to see through it. But I also always use Master of Disguise, which actually states that even a future complication cannot have somebody see through my disguise. So I've been tiptoeing around this stuff, thinking, "Oh crap! If somebody rolls 1, they're going to see through my disguise." I'm like, "Wait, no, they can't." Shit, really?
Okay, well, if we're
then
all up for it, I'll get with Gas and see if they're up for it. But if we're all up for it, I'll coordinate shit. And I know Julie said she wanted to sit down with us and talk about our characters and our perks and shit.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we can
'cause of
arrange
the-
that one night.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Advancements.
Yeah.
We just
Oh,
kinda
right,
left that
yeah.
as-
And we have one extra person interested in joining.
Do we?
Oh,
Is it a
cool.
night kind?
I can't remember why I said we had a character in mind for you.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to join, that's cool. Do we want to do the same time slot, or do we want to adjust that as well?
we can talk about that later. Let's go ahead and let Rasclin do his
Yeah,
thing. So that
this is all the.
anybody who
Yeah,
needs to
Yeah.
go can go.
Tomorrow night, Over the Edge on Community Radio for East Central Illinois, 90.1 FM, WEFT Champaign. Streaming online at new.wft.org/listen.
Dear God, says he deafens the entire audience.
And
You woke
wakes
up
up
Olive.
Olive. Nobody was
Alright.
paying attention to that outro. We're like, dog.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do the outro then, and I'll see you guys later.
All right, see ya.
Have a good night.
All right. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you're new here, don't forget to prod that subscribe button. If you want to be kept up to date of when we go live and stuff like that, make sure to ring the bell, but also check out the social media links down below. That's our Facebook page, our Twitter account, our Tumblr account, our Blue Sky account, and the permanent invite for our Discord server, where I try to make sure to notify you guys of when we go live and stuff like that. For example, in 1 hour, we are going to be back with more Raft. Moving on to the domed island and a lot more trouble, a lot more puzzles. So, and then tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time, Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Time, we'll be back with more Arkham Knight. I am taking Saturday completely off. So, all that so that you can stay tuned for more from Ollamhproductions. Oh.